Hello, I'm Ari Paparo. Thanks for joining us. We're here at Marketecture, where you get smart fast with in-depth conversations with technology experts. I'm here with Krishan Bhatia, the President and Chief Business Officer of NBCU. Thank you for being here, Krishan.
Ari, it's great to see you. Thanks for having me. Congrats on getting this new venture going and excited to speak to you.
Did I not know your name? I was going to call you Krishan. I didn't mean to, Krishan. So I had to look up your title on LinkedIn, and I found out that we both went to Georgetown, so Hoya Saxa.
Go Hoyas.
Yeah, exactly. I'm a little older than you, so my class had famous alumni, Hunter Biden. I'm not sure if you have such illustrious names as well in your class.
I was class of 95, Foreign Service School. Very proud alum of the school.
So you're not going to be able to stump Krishan on any geography questions.
No, I had to take Map of the Modern World, and I passed it on the first try.
Well done. Well done. Well, thanks for coming here. So everyone knows NBCU, one of the largest media companies in the world. Krishan and I worked together when I was briefly at Comcast last year. So what we want to talk about, and this is, I think, why we're really interested in hearing about this, is how NBC is talking about its one platform and how it's essentially investing in product development, not just media sales, as a way to address the market. So maybe to start, why don't you just walk us through what is one platform?
Well, Ari, thank you for this forum. I think it's much necessary and allows us to tell this journey that we are on as a media and now increasingly technology company as well, which is really the genesis of our one platform offering. If you think about one platform, we like to characterize it really as two things. First and foremost, it's our value proposition to our marketers and clients to reach consumers at scale across all the touch points that NBCUniversal has, which I'll talk about in a second. And secondly, it's really our proprietary advertising technology stack with all the features and capabilities and products and platforms that we'll talk about today as well. So if you start with consumer scale, we reach about 230 million consumers every month in the US alone with our networks and digital properties internationally. And then through our partnership with Sky, that expands to about 700 million people on a global basis. And so the genesis of one platform was really in an increasingly fragmented consumer landscape where consumers are engaging with us on linear television to streaming apps to social media to all forms of digital platforms. How do you make it as seamless and compelling and automated and data enabled and measurable as possible for our marketers and many new marketers to come along for that journey in reaching those consumers in all of those different places? It's an inherently complex problem to solve for. So to your point, we've been investing in this space roughly for about 6 or 7 years now in earnest, building a foundational layer and then adding increasingly advanced feature functionality and capabilities on top of that. So if you transition from like the consumer footprint of how do we engage 230 million people in connection with our marketing partners on a day-to-day basis to the advertising technology stack, it has a number of different components that range from audience building to plan building to optimization, all the way down to a full funnel measurement. And we call that really our one platform offering.
Great. So let's dive into what that means. So let's talk through a typical use case. I'm a typical TV advertiser. I've been spending tens or hundreds of millions of dollars on TV for years. How does my interaction with presumably your sales force, change because one platform is part of the conversation?
So we position ourselves really as activation agnostic, as marketers and their agency partners, and an increasingly diverse set of marketers that now have access to television through CTV, and very different marketing objectives that they're all trying to accomplish. And so we genuinely believe that there's not a one-size-fits-all approach. So one platform by definition is tailored to accomplish lots of different use cases, as you just outlined. To take a specific one, let's say in television, which we've been investing in for years and the industry is now following and scaling, is how do I reach more targeted audiences in linear television where I can't actually serve addressable ads because it's still largely a broadcast model? Generally, that's called data-driven linear. Our product as part of one platform is called AdSmart, and it is a way for you as a marketer to establish a target audience that's based on criteria and attributes that either you bring through your CRM data or that we help define through our first-party data and potentially third-party data sets. We agree on a target segment. We then find those audiences across all of our touch points both on linear and if you want to extend that into streaming or digital platforms on streaming as well. And then we build what we call an optimized plan that the fundamental value proposition reaches your target audience at significantly higher reach because it over indexes on those audiences depending on what parts of our networks and digital properties they're watching. Then we optimize the plan both on a pre-flight basis and within flight in order to deliver that maximum reach at equal frequency. And then we measure it on the back end to a whole slew of attribution partners depending on the industry category of the advertiser. That's been a business that has grown significantly over the past few years. We're also in partnership now with OpenAP, availing our data-driven linear inventory as a pool across multiple programmers. You have Fox and Viacom and now Warner Discovery as joint venture partners in OpenAP as well. And so this whole use case of advanced advertising in television is continuing to proliferate and scale, while in parallel, we're also enabling actual targeting in an addressable fashion on streaming inventory where that's possible. So that's a very different way of a typical linear TV advertiser planning for, optimizing for, and measuring TV inventory that it might have been 5 or 6 years ago when it was really based on content selections and age, gender, demographics as proxies for their target audiences. About 40% of our total portfolio now transacts on currencies that we define as either advanced or non-traditional currencies. And so we believe that we will hit the pivot point of over 50% in very short order. And all of our capabilities are kind of oriented around fueling those use cases and that growth.
Thanks for listening. To hear the complete interview, subscribe at marketecture.tv.